Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by asking you a simple but powerful question. Why do some people rise to extraordinary levels of success while others, equally talented, remain stuck in the same place year after year? Is it luck? Is it intelligence? Or is it something far more simple and far more personal? Today, I invite you to stay with me until the very end, because what we are about to explore is not a secret reserved for the privileged few. It is a truth that has quietly shaped every great achievement in history. And once you understand it, you may never look at your daily routine the same way again. You see, success is often misunderstood. We celebrate the victory, but ignore the preparation. We admire the results, but overlook the process. What we don't always see are the small decisions made early in the morning, the quiet discipline practiced when no one is watching, and the habits repeated long before success ever shows its face. The ultra-successful are not superhuman. They do not wake up with magical abilities or special advantages. They simply learn something most people never stop to consider: that success is built in private before it is rewarded in public. Tonight, we are not here to talk about overnight success or shortcuts. We are here to talk about the daily habits that shape character, direction, and destiny, habits that, if practiced consistently, can transform an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. So I encourage you to listen closely, not just with your ears, but with your intentions. Because somewhere in the next few minutes, you may recognize a habit you need to strengthen, a discipline you've been avoiding, or a decision you've been delaying. And when that moment comes, remember this: the future you desire is not far away. It is hidden inside the habits you choose starting today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. One of the greatest misunderstandings about success is the belief that it happens suddenly. We see the promotion, the achievement, the recognition, and we assume that success arrived in a single moment. But what we don't see is the long line of ordinary days that came before that moment. The truth is simple and powerful. Success is not an event, it is a habit. An event happens once. A habit happens every day. Ultra-successful people understand this distinction clearly. They don't build their lives around rare bursts of motivation or lucky opportunities. They build their lives around consistent actions, small, often uncelebrated actions that quietly shape their future. Think about this: no one becomes successful by doing something extraordinary once in a while. Success is created by doing simple things exceptionally well day after day. Reading a few pages daily may seem insignificant, but over years it builds wisdom. Saving a small amount regularly may feel slow, but over time it creates security. Showing up prepared every day may not bring applause, but it earns trust and respect. The problem for many people is not lack of ambition, it is lack of consistency. They wait for inspiration instead of building discipline. They hope for change instead of practicing it. But hope is not a strategy, habits are. Ultra-successful individuals focus less on dramatic goals and more on daily standards. Goals can inspire you, but habits sustain you. A goal says, I want to succeed. A habit says, this is who I am becoming. When your actions become part of your identity, success becomes a natural outcome, not a distant dream. Another powerful truth is this: what you do daily matters more than what you do occasionally. A single great decision cannot compensate for poor daily choices. Likewise, small positive habits practiced consistently can overcome major disadvantages. What starts small eventually becomes unstoppable. Successful people also understand patience. They don't expect immediate rewards. They trust the process. They know that the early stages of success often feel slow, quiet, and unrewarding, but they keep going anyway because habits don't work on emotion, they work on consistency. Unsuccessful people often ask, when will my break come? Successful people ask, what habit must I improve today? That shift in thinking changes everything. It moves responsibility from external circumstances to internal discipline. Let me say this clearly: your habits are voting every day for the kind of life you will live. Each choice is a vote. One good choice may not change your life, but repeated good choices will. One poor choice may not ruin your life, but repeated poor choices will. If you want to change your future, don't start by trying to change everything at once. Start by changing one habit. Wake up a little earlier. Read a little more. Plan your day instead of reacting to it. Choose progress over comfort. Remember, success doesn't announce itself when you begin. It whispers through routine. It hides inside the small disciplines you practice when no one is watching. And one day, what looked like luck to others will simply be the visible result of habits you refuse to abandon. Because in the end, success is not something you achieve once, it is something you practice daily. Ladies and gentlemen, every meaningful journey has a starting point. In the pursuit of success, that starting point is not talent, education, money, or opportunity. The true starting line is personal responsibility. Until a person accepts full responsibility for their life, progress remains slow, fragile, and uncertain. Personal responsibility means recognizing one powerful truth: your life is shaped more by your choices than by your circumstances. Ultra-successful people understand this early. They don't deny challenges, and they don't pretend life is always fair. But they refuse to give their power away by blaming external factors. It's easy to point fingers. It's easy to say the system is broken, the timing is wrong, or someone else is responsible. Blame offers comfort, but it steals control. The moment you blame, you surrender the ability to change. Ultra successful people choose the harder path ownership. They ask different questions. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? They ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of saying, this is not my fault, they say, what part of this can I improve? Those questions don't weaken them, they strengthen them. Responsibility does not mean self-criticism or guilt. It means clarity. It means understanding that while you may not control every event, you always control your response. And your response determines your direction. Many people wait for conditions to improve before they take action. The ultra-successful take action, and conditions improve because of it. They don't wait to feel confident, they act and confidence follows. They don't wait for permission, they prepare until opportunity has no choice but to recognize them. There is a moment in every successful life when excuses end and progress begins. That moment comes when a person looks honestly at their situation and says, if this is going to change, it starts with me. That decision is quiet, but it is powerful. Personal responsibility also means accepting responsibility for growth. No one is coming to rescue you. No one else can read the books for you, build the skills for you, or develop your character for you. Support can help, but ownership must come first. Ultra-successful people understand that complaining changes nothing, but improvement changes everything. They invest energy where it produces results. Into learning, planning, and execution, they replace emotional reactions with thoughtful responses. They also accept responsibility for their standards. They decide what behavior is acceptable, what habits are non-negotiable, and what level of effort is required. They don't live by default, they live by design. Let's be honest, responsibility can feel heavy, but the alternative, living powerless, dependent and reactive, is far heavier. Responsibility is not a burden, it is freedom. When you own your life, you gain the authority to shape it. The moment you accept full responsibility, you stop waiting for the world to change and start changing yourself. And when you change yourself, everything around you begins to shift. So if you are searching for the first step towards success, don't look outside, look in the mirror. Because the day you accept responsibility for where you are and where you are going, that is the day your journey truly begins. Ladies and gentlemen, almost everyone has goals. People dream of better careers, stronger relationships, financial freedom, and personal growth. Yet only a small percentage ever turn those goals into real results. The difference is not intelligence, luck, or even motivation. The difference is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between what you want and what you actually achieve. Motivation is exciting, but it is unreliable. It comes and goes with mood, energy, and circumstances. Discipline, on the other hand, stays when motivation disappears. Ultra-successful people understand this deeply. They do not depend on how they feel to decide how they act. They act based on commitment, not emotion. Discipline is often misunderstood. People think discipline is harsh, restrictive, or joyless. In reality, discipline is a form of self-respect. It is the ability to say no to short-term comfort so you can say yes to long-term growth. It is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Every meaningful result requires repeated effort. The gym visit you skip today seems small, but repeated skips create weakness. The extra hour of focused work you commit to each day may seem minor, but repeated daily, it builds mastery. Discipline compounds. Small discipline actions practiced consistently create outcomes that appear extraordinary to others. Ultra-successful people design their lives to support discipline. They don't rely on willpower alone. They create routines, systems, and environments that make good choices easier and bad choices harder. They plan their days, protect their priorities, and eliminate unnecessary distractions. Discipline becomes a structure, not a struggle. There will always be reasons not to act. You will feel tired, distracted, unprepared, or uncertain. Discipline does not eliminate these feelings. It acts despite them. It says, I will do what needs to be done, even when it is uncomfortable. That mindset separates dreamers from achievers. Another powerful truth is this: discipline builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen self-trust. Every time you break one, you weaken it. Ultra-successful people know that confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you earn through disciplined action. Discipline also creates momentum. Action leads to progress. Progress builds belief, and belief fuels further action. Once momentum begins, discipline feels less like force and more like flow. But momentum only starts when discipline takes the first step. Many people say they lack discipline, but in reality, they lack clear standards. Discipline becomes easier when you decide in advance what is non-negotiable. When your goals are clear and your standards are defined, decisions become simpler. Let me be clear. Discipline does not mean perfection. Ultra-successful people are not flawless. They make mistakes, miss days, and face setbacks, but they return to discipline quickly. They don't quit because of a bad day. They recommit because of it. In the end, discipline is not about punishment. It is about alignment. It aligns your daily actions with your long-term vision. It turns goals from ideas into outcomes. So remember, this: goals set the direction, but discipline determines the destination. If you build discipline into your daily life, success will no longer feel distant. It will become inevitable. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the quiet but powerful habits of the ultra-successful is their commitment to continuous learning. They understand a truth that many overlook: formal education may give you a start, but self-education determines how far you go. Learning for them is not a phase of life, it is a lifelong investment. Many people stop learning once they finish school or earn a degree. They assume that what they know today will be enough for tomorrow. Ultra-successful individuals know better. They recognize that the world is constantly changing, and the skills that created yesterday's success may not guarantee tomorrow's results. Learning is not limited to classrooms, certificates, or exams. It happens through books, experiences, observation, listening. And ultra-successful people are curious. They ask questions, they seek understanding. They know that ignorance is far more expensive than education. There is a direct connection between what you learn and what you earn. Skills increase value, and value increases opportunity. When you invest time in learning, you are increasing your ability to solve problems, and the world rewards those who solve valuable problems. These individuals read regularly, not for entertainment alone, but for growth. They listen more than they speak. They learn from mentors, from failures, and even from critics. They treat every experience as a lesson, not a loss. Learning also sharpens judgment. The more you know, the better decisions you make. Poor decisions are often the result of limited knowledge. Ultra-successful people reduce risk by increasing understanding. They prepare before they act. Another important aspect of lifelong learning is adaptability. The most successful people are not the strongest or the smartest, they are the most adaptable. Learning keeps them flexible. When industries change, technology evolves, or circumstances shift, they adjust instead of resisting. Learning requires humility. You must be willing to admit that you don't know everything. Ultra-successful people are confident, but not arrogant. They remain teachable. They understand that growth stops the moment ego takes over. Let's also talk about the discipline of learning. Just like success, learning is built through habits. Reading a few pages a day, listening to educational content, and reflecting on experiences may seem small, but over time it creates wisdom. Knowledge compounds just like habits. Many people say they don't have time to learn. Ultra-successful people understand that learning saves time in the long run. It prevents repeated mistakes and accelerates progress. Time invested in learning today prevents years of struggle tomorrow. Learning also shapes mindset. It expands perspective, builds confidence, and fuels creativity. The more you learn, the more possibilities you see. The fewer you learn, the more limited your options become. In the end, learning is not just about gaining information. It is about becoming more capable, more aware, and more effective. The ultra-successful never ask, when will I stop learning? They ask, what should I learn next? Because they know this: when you stop growing, you start falling behind. But when you commit to lifelong learning, you give yourself a powerful advantage that time can never take away. Ladies and gentlemen, time is the one resource that is given equally to everyone, yet it produces wildly unequal results. We all receive the same 24 hours each day, but what separates the ultra-successful from the rest is not how much time they have, it is how they use it. They understand a powerful principle: time is not something to be spent casually, it is something to be used intentionally. Most people talk about killing time. Ultra-successful people never use such language because words reflect mindset. They see time as life itself. Once an hour is gone, it can never be recovered again. Opportunities may return. Time does not. Ultra-successful people treat time like a valuable investment. Before they act, they ask, is this the best use of my time right now? That simple question protects them from distractions, delays, and activities that feel busy but produce little value. They understand the difference between activity and productivity. Being busy does not mean being effective. Many people fill their days with motion but make little progress. Ultra-successful individuals focus on high-impact tasks, the few actions that create the greatest results. They prioritize outcomes over appearances. Time management for them is not about squeezing more tasks into a day. It is about eliminating what does not matter. They learn to say no without guilt. They understand that every yes to something unimportant is a no to something meaningful. Planning is another key habit. Ultra-successful people don't wake up and hope the day goes well. They design their day in advance. They decide what deserves attention and what does not. A clear plan turns time into a tool instead of a trap. They also respect deadlines, including the invisible ones. Life has seasons. Opportunities have windows. They act before urgency turns into regret. Procrastination is not harmless. It is the silent thief of time. Ultra-successful individuals protect their prime hours. They schedule important work when energy and focus are highest. They do not give their best time to their least important activities. This discipline alone creates a powerful advantage over time. Using time wisely does not mean working endlessly. It means balancing effort with recovery. Rest, reflection, and renewal are not signs of weakness. They are strategies for sustainability. Burnout wastes more time than rest ever will. Another important truth: how you use small moments determines how you use big ones. Minutes matter. Waiting time, quiet time, and in between moments are opportunities for learning, planning, or reflection. Ultra-successful people do not underestimate small pockets of time. Time reveals priorities. What you consistently make time for is what you truly value. Ultra-successful people align their schedules with their goals, not their moods. They don't wait until they feel like it. They act because it matters. Let me say this clearly. Time does not need to be managed. It needs to be respected. When you respect time, you respect your life. In the end, your future is not shaped by one dramatic day, but by how you use ordinary days. Use your time well, and success becomes a natural outcome. Waste it, and no amount of talent can save you. Time is used, not spent, and how you use it will determine the life you live. Ladies and gentlemen, in the pursuit of success, much attention is given to results, titles, income, recognition, and status. But the ultra-successful understand a deeper truth. Achievement is a reflection of character. Long before success shows up in your life, it is shaped by who you are when no one is watching. Character is not built in moments of applause. It is built in moments of choice, especially the small ones. It is revealed in how you act under pressure, how you treat people when there is nothing to gain, and how you respond when integrity is tested. Ultra-successful people know that lasting success cannot exist without a strong foundation of character. Skills may open doors, but character determines how long those doors stay open. Talent may bring attention, but character earns trust, and trust is the currency of long-term success. Without it, even the greatest achievements eventually collapse. Ultra-successful individuals are guided by principles, not convenience. They do the right thing even when it costs them in the short term, because they understand that shortcuts always demand payment later. Integrity is not optional for them, it is non-negotiable. Character also shows in consistency. These individuals are the same in private as they are in public. They don't change values based on audience or advantage. This consistency creates credibility, and credibility creates influence. Another key aspect of character is humility. Ultra-successful people are confident, but not arrogant. They acknowledge their progress without forgetting their beginnings. They remain open to feedback and willing to learn. Ego blocks growth. Humility accelerates it. Character is also tested through adversity. Success does not reveal character, pressure does. When things go wrong, ultra-successful people don't panic, cheat, or compromise values. They stay grounded. They respond with patience, responsibility, and discipline. Their strength is internal before it is external. Let's talk about discipline and character. Discipline is not just about productivity, it is about values and action, showing up on time, keeping promises, and finishing what you start. Are character traits, not just habits. Over time, these behaviors shape reputation. Reputation, unlike achievement, cannot be built overnight. It is earned slowly and lost quickly. Ultra-successful people protect their reputation by protecting their character. They understand that what people believe about you will often matter as much as what you achieve. Character also influences leadership. People may follow skill, but they commit to character. Ultra-successful leaders inspire trust, loyalty, and respect because their actions align with their words. They lead by example, not by instruction alone. Let me be clear, character does not guarantee immediate success. In fact, it may slow you down at times, but it guarantees sustainability. Success without character is unstable. Success with character is durable. In the end, achievement answers the question, what did you accomplish? Character answers the more important question, who did you become? The ultra-successful focus on both, but they always build character first. Because when character leads, achievement follows, and when challenges arise, character is what carries you through. So as you chase success, remember this, protect your character above all else. It is the one asset that once strengthened will support every success you achieve, and once damaged can undo it all.